As it said, if you say you're gonna do something, you've either done it or it's about to happen. Since I'm trending, I wanted to wait, but I integrated physics. The center of the Earth is spinning in an opposite direction than circumference of the Earth. Now, this is all experimental, man. I've checked this all with experiments, and some of them might come out, but um, protons and neutrons in a nucleus, one of them moves in. The proton moves in due to the inside of the Earth spinning one way. This has to do with cozy rev, Kozyrev, the time phenomenon. Neutrons move out, right? And because of this, you can get, when they line up, percentage based atomic physics. So you can get things like a Compton generator. Using the chemical amounts, you can try this with a dime Sprite, a Sprite cap, and a McDonald's straw. It works out with the percentages. It can be within a range. So you can put this straw in the cap, and if you push it, it's going to go and it's going to come back. It's a Compton generator. Presumably, there are other types of generators. And you can do the same thing if you take molybdenum and put it in there. You have to shake it for the first experiment on your hair. You have to charge it statically, but with the molybdenum, you don't have to do that. The molybdenum will take care of that. Um, that there is a thing called the time phenomenon. It's not taught in physics classes, man, or curriculums. I have a PhD in physics from Caltech. I did my undergrad as a distance student when I was in my freshman year of high school here in the city at distance at MIT for chemistry and physics. I'm on witness protection, so you can't find any of my papers, but I'll go over my papers. Um, the time phenomenon has to do with rotation, but it's not just rotation. Um, it has to be spinning on the outside and the inside. And so you can take a gyroscope and you can spin them opposite ways and or the same way. It matters which way is clockwise or counterclockwise, and that has to do with the Coriolis effect. That's where you'll find a thing on the Compton generator, which is that when you spin something both this way and that way, like a tube, like a hose, it will spin the opposite direction that it's supposed to for a second, then it will do it normally. Now, I have done many, many, many physics experiments over my lifetime, and I have other degrees, and they are kind of interesting. So I'll lead back into the formalization of my stuff. I'm a doctor, and so physics moves in reverse. That's why quantum mechanics happens. Why is it particle duality? Because it's happening in reverse. But our bodies do not do that. Our bodies do not have time. And the difference is has to do with field theory, and this has to do with 3 day cycles. The 3 day cycle is a cycle of the Earth, and that has to do with our biology. You will either get sick or better within 3 days if you have a change in your health. And this is all beings that we know about. Next, botany. Plants are not alive. There's another nucleolus in there that if you take a 3D microscopy, you will see that there is another organelle in there, and plants are entirely deterministic, but we are not. And there's so much that can be said about that, and so much that has argued um, that there's no point to it. But um, next is my physics PhD. It's very, very simple. It has to do with the amount of dark matter in the universe um, versus the amount of. Hold on a second. We have to go into math. So if you take a set of 10, it's the same as any set across. So physics is wrong in how we're thinking about it mathematically. That you can, if something is 465.32 miles an hour, you can go like that, right? 4, 2, bam, right? That's how you might do that, right? So, if you take dark matter in the universe and E equals mc squared, you will end up with an amount that, you know, uh, correlates to um, a strange non reconciliation with light's experimental versus theoretical results. So light does have time, and so does matter, and you can look that up in Cozy Rev. And here's how you calculate the time phenomenon. It's off rubber. So rubber, if you go across the mathematics from the lowest boiling point to the highest boiling point, um, you will get a 10. That's a 14, right? Um, this is how you're going to calculate the boost in the time phenomenon. Now, this also refers to the fact that nitrogen and oxygen 2, nitrogen 1 and oxygen 2 are related. And that is the connection between matter and light. So you have to go into the mathematics of this, but there is other stuff. Those scientists that were killed, or disappeared, they're all dead. We worked on CERN together. The Higgs boson, that has to do with gauge. Um, I didn't kill them. I know them to be dead, though. I was tracking it. We worked on the Higgs boson together, and they were all killed. I'm the only one left. Yeah, they put me on witness protection. I presume the government is killing them. Um, that you can actually get through this interesting experiment that has to do with propylene glycol and ethylene glycol. If you can combine them, there's a book on modern physics for the 21st century. This is where you use this. It's pure attraction. So if you take a dropper that's sealed of propylene glycol and ethylene glycol, and you shoot an accelerator across water um, with electrons, deuterons, and protons. I didn't try anything else. You will see a bubble go. And if you measure the collision, it took the mass. This whole book, Physics for the 20th century, 21st century, goes into a pure attraction. There's other physics that I have. I'm trying to think about what my nuclear one was. Okay. Let's work backwards. Rubber. Why does it work? Well, it's trees. Goodwill Hunting, trees and walks. Well, this has to do with something else, radioactive decay. That's a tree and a walk. These are connected. They're all connected. You see it if you do the math right here. Thank you.